Hello, my friends. Welcome. Welcome to a new series. Yes, I know, I've been planning this series a while. And now it's finally here. Playing so much Space Marine 2, playing so much Dark Tide, watching Dark Tide videos, I didn't actually play it yet, made me feel like I wanted to give this game a revisit. So, I made myself a coffee, I rolled myself a joint. Actually, I just stole one of my dad's and left a $20 bill. I'm sure he'll be fine with it. I'm sure he'll think it was a more respectful way of doing it rather than just stealing his weed. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Yes, we are here. It has been a long time. I have not played this game in a very long time. For those of you who don't know me, I like to do a little intro to talk about myself. I only do this about once per series. I do it for the very first episode of every series. My most extensive one yet was for Warcraft 3. I spent a whole hour just chatting there, talking about my expertise in Warcraft 3, but I'm not going to do that here because I don't actually know this game as well as I know Warcraft 3. I've also started a StarCraft 2 series, but you guys are not going to see that for a while because I have yet to get permission from Hearthstone to make fun of him. I don't want to make fun of him until I get his permission formally to roast him. I will request it tonight at the end of this series. Welcome. Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to Dawn of War. Some people would say that this is the first Warhammer game ever. It isn't. I think technically it's Chaos Gate, but most people have no idea what Chaos Gate is. They're more familiar with Chaos Gate 2. This game is the spiritual successor to Company of Heroes 1. This is the engine that was used to create Company of Heroes 1. The Company of Heroes 1 engine was used to create Dawn of War 2. Dawn of War 2's engine was used to create Company of Heroes 2. The Company of Heroes 2 engine was used to create Dawn of War 3. And to my knowledge, they completely scrapped that and went with a completely new engine for Company of Heroes 3. So honestly, I don't know much about Company of Heroes 3, but I like to spend a little bit of time here, talk about this game, talk about what this game means to me, talking about the updates, talking about mods, talking about myself. And so here we are. 17 years later, we're here playing this game. This game came out a long time ago, but it's been updated a few times, and very specifically it was updated last year, and I had no idea they created something called the Game of the Year edition. I wasn't paying attention, so I kind of missed it, so I'm a year behind on the party. But for those of you who do know, good for you, and thank you for letting me know about that. My name is Kelly. Most people refer to me as Kellyum0, or just Kelly, or just Kellyum. Some of you might know me from my time having spent playing the old Command & Conquers. You might know me from the Command & Conquer Discord. Some of you might know me from my time spent playing Grand Theft Auto 5 during the Great and Terrible Airplane Wars. Some of you might remember me from my time spent playing StarCraft 2, very specifically the mod Discord, very specifically the 3D model editing Discord. Some of you might know me from Eternal Crusade. I spent a lot of time on Eternal Crusade, about 2,000 hours, so chances are if you're one of the 80 people playing that game at the time, you probably know me. That was where we used to suicide bomb Chapter Master Valorak all the time. It was good fun. Some of you might know me from my time spent playing Barotrauma, very specifically the Barotrauma modding Discord. Some of you might know me from my time spent playing Aliens Fireteam Elite. I did a full series on that. A lower difficulty series, but still a full Let's Play nonetheless. Some of you might know me from my time spent playing GTFO. I have played a little bit of that with people in the multiplayer scene. I don't know much about the modding Discord. I don't know much about the GTFO Discord, but I have been around. I've lurked. Some of you might be more familiar with my Age of Darkness Let's Play, beginning to end, completionist for the story. Some of you might know me from my time spent playing Red Solstice 2. I have spent quite a bit of time on that. Very specifically the tank that's always running around trying to save everybody all the time. There was also an extensive amount of time I spent playing Command & Conquer Tiberium Wars 3. Some of you might know me from the One Vision mod Discord, the model editing Discord. Some of you might know me from my time spent playing Heroes of the Storm. I mostly play Deathwing, but I played a lot of things on there. Some of you might be familiar with my Aliens: The Dark Descent Let's Play, beginning to end, completionist. Some of you might know me from my time spent playing Infection Free Zone. I did quite a bit of that. I did quite a bit of time on Infection Free Zone. Some of you might know me from my time spent playing my homeworld, Deserts of Karak Cocaine Let's Play. Not one of my longer ones, I don't think, but definitely one of my more serious ones. Despite the name, the Deserts of Karak Cocaine. Some of you might know me from my time spent on Diablo 3. I have spent an extensive amount of time on Diablo 3. Some of you ancient dinosaurs might remember me from the era of StarCraft 1. I've been playing StarCraft 1 since about 1999, 1998, so some of you from before the release of Brood War expansion might remember me from pre-Brood War. Some of you might be more familiar with me to do with my Warcraft 3 Let's Play series. One of my more serious Let's Plays for sure. Another series I did was on Total War Warhammer 2, but I didn't end up actually uploading hardly any of them. I think the better series is Total War Warhammer 3. So some of you might know me from Total War Warhammer 3. Some of you might know me from my Nuclear Nightmare Let's Plays. A lot of those are not up yet either, I don't think, even chronologically by the uploading of this video. I've played a lot of games. I have a few series. I have a few different sets of things. What am I forgetting? Space Marine 2. Extensive amount of time now on Space Marine 2. We're still hunting for Chapter Master Valorak. We still have yet to find him. We still have yet to suicide bomb Chapter Master Valorak, but we hunt him still. Thank you for coming to this series and joining me on this journey. I hope you enjoy this journey that we're about to begin. It's going to be a longer one. It's going to be more similar to the Warcraft 3 one in that it's long and that it's extensive in the lore building and in the style. So for those of you who don't know anything about Warhammer, for those of you who are kind of like Family Guy fans, where you're like, I know what Star Wars is, and I know what Lord of the Rings is, but I have no idea what Warhammer is. It's fairly cult-like, it's fairly niche. And you're right, it is. It is very niche, very cult-like. Warhammer itself as a subject is fairly popular, but I'm not going to get into, like, lore explaining. You're better off listening, if you care about lore, you're better off listening to others. I've heard good things about Luton. I don't really know. I don't watch Luton videos. Not much anyway. I've seen one or two, I think. So, but some of you might really enjoy Luton's videos. Some of you might really enjoy Chapter Master Valorak's videos. Chapter Master Valorak, he's a YouTuber. Used to play a lot of Eternal Crusade. I used to suicide bomb him a lot as a Storm Boy. I would very often just simply land right in his face, throw a stick bomb right on his head, melee attack him one time to ensure he couldn't roll away or move or do anything, and then kill myself with the explosion and kill him with the grenade that's stuck to his face. Did that quite a few times. Still hunting, still looking for him. Gonna find him, gonna get him, maybe, hopefully. But for those of you who are more into Warhammer in the tabletop Warhammer is a little different. It's turn-based. It's more like chess. It's more like a chess combined with the dice. It's like chess with exotic pieces, exotic rock, paper, scissors pieces based on dice, based on rolls of the dice. And you build the environments, and the environments really are just a three-dimensional area that acts as a arena for the chess pieces to move around, because there is no grid. Chess pieces have to obey a grid, whereas when you're playing Warhammer with the tabletop, there kind of is a grid. It's based on the radius of the units. It's based on the radius of the model. So the model has a radius, and so if the model can't fit between two pieces of a map, then it has to go around, or if it can, quote unquote, go through terrain, then it demolishes the map. But basically, the way tabletop works and the way video games work is pretty different. I brought this game up originally when I was comparing the Army Painter to the Army Painter in Space Marine 2. The fact of the matter is that the Army Painter in Space Marine 2, don't get me wrong, I love Space Marine 2. I think Space Marine 2 is really good. I think that Space Marine 2 is an extremely good thing to have happened to Warhammer. I would not at all call Space Marine 2 bad for Warhammer. The Army Painter in Space Marine 2 is fucking dog shit. I'm just gonna admit it. You look at this Army Painter and how easy this is to use. How intuitive this is. How easy it is to use this. But the people who are smart enough to remember Homeworld 1 are gonna recognize this section of the Army Painter as being super Homeworld 1. And you'd be absolutely correct. In fact, I think it's the exact code. The name of the person who told me is not coming to my mind, but it was the same person that taught me about animated textures. And where have I talked about animated textures before? Oh gee, I have no idea. There's no way you could possibly ever see any animated textures in anything. It's not like the vertexes completely give it away 100%. Absolutely, not at all. People who play this game, they're going to be like, yeah, you're right, this Army Painter is fucking sick. And at the time, not only was this state of the art, this was lore friendly. They went and they created the armies for you. You can add them, but only by this limited number. So there's Space Furries, there's White Scars, there's Raven Guard, which are pretty cool to be honest. There's Imperial Fists, which are pretty cool to be honest. Dark Angels, everybody's personal favorite. Ultramarines, also known in Space Marine 2 as the Blueberries. These are all each a different set of army paintings. See, rather than having team colors the way that most RTS games do things, people created armies based on the lore. The lore is what makes people want to play the tabletop. The tabletop has different rules based on different individuals. So, for example, the Blood Angels and the Blood Ravens, they look similar, they have a similar symbol, right? A bird with a blood drop, a pair of wings with a blood drop, a goblet splashing blood, and a iron halo combined with a raven with a teardrop combined with a lightning bolt, which I think represents lightning strikes, which is like frontline stuff. A book, which represents lore, which represents, I think, the librarians. And I'm not even sure what that is. I think that is a lion. So maybe it's something to do with the imperial fists, because they often have fists and lions associated with their stuff. Somebody is associated with lions. I just don't remember who it is. It's not space wolves, I don't think. Space furries. I don't think it's space furries. I don't think it's ultramarines either. But lots of people are familiar nowadays with the ultramarines. People who are more familiar with the ultramarines are going to be Space Marine 1, Space Marine 2 players. People who are more familiar with the Blood Ravens are going to be Dawn of War 1, Dawn of War 2, Dawn of War 3 players. So that's kind of the key difference as far as the video games are concerned. The Ultramarines get the FPS, or the third-person FPS, TPS I guess you call it, and the RTS has always gone to the Blood Ravens and the Blood Angels. I think the Blood Ravens are Dawn of War 1 and 2, and I think the Blood Angels are Dawn of War 3. But suffice to say, there's like a whole set of lore just for the races. Now, I don't know shit about the Eldar, truth be told, and I don't know shit about the others. I don't know very much about the races or the that. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So there's all these special orcs too. So for example, Dawn of War 1 and 2 is Evil Sons, whereas Dawn of War 3 is Bad Moons. The Bad Moons clan. So there's different races, there's different things, there's chaos, the Emperor's Children, the World Eaters. You may recognize these as options from Space Marine 2, Death Guard. Iron Warriors, Night Lords. This is the skin they use for the Raptor. Word Bearers. This is one of those skins they use for yeah, but they don't actually have Thousand Suns. Thousand Suns is added later, believe it or not, by mods. There are no Thousand Suns Space Marines, as far as because Thousand Suns didn't exist yet, not really. The closest you get is Night Lords, which I guess you could make cooler. Right. Now they were all like into silver, weren't they? Silver with a blue tinge. No, they were gold, right? Yeah, really bright. That's right. Yeah. Keep the traditionalist. Yeah. Oh, and the eyes, right. I think it was green. Kind of a greenish teal. It's easier to see when they're red, but I think lore-wise it's supposed to be green. Ghost green, like that. Yeah. There you go. There's my Night Lords. Let's change it to something Zenichi. Is there anything Zenichi? No, I guess not. Kind of. Not really. That's fine. Yeah, it's pretty limited. Pretty limited. Oh yeah, it's an ultramarine Thousand Sun. I think this would be Iron Warriors. It does look kind of cool. I think the one I always used to use was this one, just because I think I'll go with this one for the multiplayer. Oh yeah, I can't play multiplayer. For those of you who don't know any better, this game does have multiplayer, but trust me, you don't actually want to play multiplayer in this game. What you want to play is what's known as Soulstorm. See, this game got 4 expansions, kind of like how StarCraft got 2 expansions. StarCraft 2 got like 4 expansions. This game got 4 expansions. And each of the expansions adds a huge campaign, which is why it's going to take like a while. It's going to take even longer than the Warcraft 3 series. But I like to do an abridged version of the story before I play a game. I did this with the movie of Starship Troopers when I did Starship Troopers Let's Play, Terran Command. I did an abbreviated version of the story. And, I tried to be funny about it just because it helps get it through faster. And it helps cut through the MacGuffins and cut through the silly narrative items that are not necessary. But there are a few people, and they may have no idea what Warhammer is. But what you see up here, Warhammer, that's a trademark. That's not really like a story. That's an IP. That's kind of like saying Star Wars, right? If I just put Star Wars here, you'd have no idea what that meant. It could be Star Wars anything. Because there's so much. That's how I feel is the best way to explain Warhammer. It's kind of like this is like the video gamers, nerds, tabletops, fans version of Star Wars, okay? Now, some of you have no idea what this game is. It's an RTS, which means that it's something of a cross between Company of Heroes and Space Marine, if that makes any sense. So, this game takes place on a planet, and the abridged version of the storyline, I have not played this game in so long, but long story short, we star as a character who suffers from survivor's guilt, who helps fight the orcs, then the orcs disappear and chaos appears. And then we have to fight the Eldar bunch, and then nothing goes well, and then it ends badly. That's essentially this game's story. And then Winter Assault comes, and Winter Assault takes place after this game, I think, chronologically. So, this game, it has cinematics, it has all this other stuff, but guess what? You're gonna have a giant, humongous black box. And the reason for that is because I downloaded mods. Now some people are gonna say, oh, mods! Oh, not mods! Why would you play with mods? I play literally every game I can with mods. I play Barotrauma with mods that I build myself. I play StarCraft 2 with mods that I built myself. I play literally any game that I can with mods. And in this example, I am using 3 sets of mods. I'm using one set of mods to increase the resolution of the screen so that it can use my full monitor, 1920 by 1080. I'm using a second mod which increases the distance that my camera can zoom out at and zoom in at, as well as the speed. I wasn't too impressed with the actual distances, so I manually changed them myself. I don't know how well it will look. It may end up looking like shit, but we'll find out. And the third thing I did was I used a mod that changes the exe file to allow me to skip the intro cinematics by using the escape key. And that requires a changing of the local ini file. You have to add a file, or not a file, a line of code. You have to add a line of code in the file called local.ini, and you have to actually manually type it yourself and write code. I'll try to remember, if I can, the code that you need to write to help yourself. Some people are going to argue that it's going to get you banned from multiplayer because you're changing the exe file and you're changing all the other shit. But trust me, you don't want to play this game with a giant black box. It's terrible. So this is a game, I played this when I was very young, when it was brand spanking new. And that was basically, this is one of the first video games I ever played. I have not played that many video games by that time. By that time, I think I'd played Age of Empires 1, 2, tiniest bit of Age of Mythology, StarCraft 1, Jersey Devil, one of the Mario Karts that I can't remember which one it was, but one of the very original 1999 Mario Karts. Don't remember what it was for. And then I think I played this, and I think this was this was my introduction to Warhammer. And when I first played this, I thought this was some of the craziest shit, some of the coolest, craziest shit in my entire life. This game did more for the Warhammer franchise than anything else, as far as I'm concerned. People say it looks like shit. People say that there's no polys. I would argue that this is like Warcraft 3 style detailed polys. Maybe a little bit higher than Warcraft 3, but similar. You can kind of see how it's similar. This game had a lot of influence, not just on me, but on a lot of other art creators, a lot of our other artists. This game is one of the most important Warhammer games. People say Chaos Gate is more important. I mean, it might be. I don't know. I never played it, hardly. But to me, anyway, and to people in my hometown, this game had a lot of impact. Like, a lot of people played this game. A lot of people liked this game. A lot of people had a lot of good things to say about this game. Not a lot of bad things. Mods are a bit hard on it. It's a bit hard on mods. Mods are kind of glitchy. Like, Ultimate Apocalypse mod is good if you've played a lot of this already. And it's fun if you want to play with Tyranids, because being able to play with Tyranids is pretty cool. But honestly, it's not friendly to mods. The mods crash a lot. Mods are not very stable. At least I've never had very much experience with mods being stable on this game. So I would advise, if you are going to do mods, only do the mods kind of like the style that I did them. Resolution, camera distance, resolution, texture, resolution, stability. Aim for stability, because this game is a little glitchy. It crashes quite a bit, at least on potatoes. Now, I've never run it on a supercomputer like I have now, so we'll find out. It seems smoother for sure. Steady 60 FPS. Used to be 20 to 15 at most for me on my old machine. So, we'll find out. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope you enjoy this game. This game is a bit of a doozy. It has a cinematic, but I'm afraid to try and trigger it. I'll try to remember to edit it in at the start, so maybe you've seen already a version of the cinematic, but honestly, I'm a little afraid to click too many buttons, so I'm just going to click. So I did my army painting, actually, if I'm fighting Eldar, be nice to see my classic favorites. I don't want 2 color schemes, honestly. Yeah, that's better. That's what it's supposed to be, honestly. With yellow, isn't it? Yellow trim? Yeah, that's looking more right. Gold, I think. Or bright yellow. Weapons. Is that the eyes? Yeah. So we need that red. All in gem. thighs. Look at that leg stance, guys. Full bow. Full long bow stance. Hell yeah. Can hardly see it. I don't remember if they fixed it or not, but there was a glitch where the army paintings that you set in the main menu are the ones you'll see in the campaign. Now I don't remember, they might have fixed that. If they fixed that, then I'm super mad. Absolutely super mad. But if they didn't, then that would be pretty funny, and also kind of cool. I'd be pretty happy. Yeah, let's do that. First one that's chosen is Bad Moons, but I think it's supposed to be red. Let's do red Bad Moons. I know it's not lore friendly, but I don't give a shit. I just want to see red orcs. Orcs. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Look at that jaw. Look how sideways it is. Bobbing and weaving with his spiky front end and his little dual machine guns that have about as much volleys in them as the ones in Company of Heroes 2. You may or may not recognize them. They look basically exactly the same. They ported the meshes. Yeah, Bad Moons. You're officially yellow now. Sorry. Let's do some campaign. Ooh. Difficulty insane, huh? Well, we are masochists. Yeah. I guess many years ago I must have done, and I guess it somehow saved it. Here we go. Planetfall. Damn it.
Hold the line! In the name of the Emperor, you will not falter!
Their fault.
You will fight, or you will die.
I am Captain Gabriel Angelos of the Blood Ravens 3rd Company. Status.
My lord, forgive me. We have done all we can to stop the orcs, but we have failed. My men's lives are yours.
You stood your ground in the face of the Emperor's foes. You've done your duty. If your men have failed you, I will leave their judgment in your hands.
Thank you, my lord.
I am not here for your thanks. This port must be held if we are to maintain troops and supply lines to the planet's surface. That is why we are here. Now, what of the wounded and the civilians?
Stranded. We have few ships.
Then you shall have more. All Blood Raven flights execute Protocol 23 and initiate civilian evacuation. We will dispatch the ground forces.
Yes, my lord.
Ground forces, my lord, but the orcs have retreated.
You must know your enemy to defeat them, Colonel. Orcs only retreat to regroup. They will keep coming until you or they are dead.
Yeah, look at that. Thunderhawk. It drops your base. That's your base building mechanic.
Brothers! Let us destroy this alien filth!
Destroy the alien filth. Alright, brothers. This is it.
What a glorious day for a battle. As the stronghold, our frontline battle headquarters is currently being assembled.
Beware the alien.
We should proceed with caution until it is finished.
Awaiting orders. Stay
That means
vigilant,
you don't
brothers.
leave until it's done.
I await
Splendid.
your
The
instructions.
stronghold is complete. We must now set about establishing a proper frontline base.
Initiated. Yes, Lord.
Direct us to the enemy. Fear denies faith.
My faith is my shield. Taking command.
Chapel Barracks.
The first thing we
We can
need
zoom
is
out
a
pretty
chapel
far.
barracks.
Ooh, it looks
That
kinda
will
bad, to
allow
be
us to
honest.
call down more Space Marine squads. Excellent. The chapel barracks is finished.
Here to serve.
Now you can build some more Space Marine
Build
squads.
routine 721 initiated. Your instructions. What is your will? Build routine 721 initiated.
These are the guys you see on board the battle barge in
I await
If
your
we are to
Space Marine
defeat
2.
these orcs, we will need to call in some special weapons. We must build an armory to get access to them.
Heresy grows from idleness.
Heresy grows from idleness. Herpaderpaderpader. You notice they build like SCVs, they move around.
I await
It's a
your
similar behavior to
instructions.
StarCraft 2 with the moving around.
Here to serve.
Excellent. The armory is operational. The Space Marine squads can now upgrade their standard
What's your
bolters to
order?
flamers and heavy bolters.
We are the Emperor's chosen.
We need requisition. But it's better to just camp. Just camp for now.
Ever vigilant. Stay vigilant, brothers.
I don't think there is anything this way.
We must not forget our power needs.
Stay vigilant,
Building a
brothers.
plasma generator
Here
will
to
supply
serve.
us with the power we need to keep our force going.
What's your order? Onward to glory!
This is the first attempt at using 3D mesh to create big
Orders
environments.
received. Cleanse, purge, kill. Orders received, brother.
Nothing to do over there. Can't get out. It's like a... I have no memory of this place.
Cleanse, purge, kill.
I await your instructions. I exist to serve.
I exist to
Yes,
serve.
Lord. I await your instructions.
Oh my god. The waiting for the requisition. You notice it's the same resource too? Or same resource name?
What would you have me do?
Awaiting orders. Fear our wrath.
You know what? We
I
really need
await
this.
your instructions. Build
really
routine
need
721 initiated.
Or we're gonna die.
While the enemies
go
of the
to this
Emperor
guy.
still draw breath, there can be no peace.
Well, there's gonna be enemies of the Emperor drawing breath for a long time, so...
Plasma generators will continue to produce power at a constant rate, but
Yes,
there is a
Lord.
limit of how many plasma generators can be built
Yes,
per
most
stronghold.
beneficent one.
Which means you need to build more of these if you want to increase it.
The Emperor protects.
The Emperor protects, brothers.
We must start capturing strategic points. These 3 closest strategic points will do
Praise
for
the
now. Emperor. Let us capture them first, and then move on to the
softly.
others. And carry a big gun.
No. I think
I
what we're
await
gonna do
your
instead is we're gonna
instructions.
hide.
Praise the Emperor.
Praise the Emperor, brothers.
For the glory of the Emperor.
I hear shooting. It doesn't sound good.
We are the Emperor's chosen. Take and hold. What is your order? Take and hold. What is your order? At your command.
Sounds like bad
Under
stuff's happening
fire.
over there. Oh,
Heresy grows from idleness. Awaiting orders. We are the Emperor's chosen. For the Emperor! Direct us to the enemy. We are the Emperor's chosen. At your command.
Yes, most beneficent one. Yes, Lord.
For the
Yes,
Emperor!
most beneficent
Well done.
one.
We have captured several strategic
Yes, Lord.
points. Capturing strategic points and building listening posts on them earns us more requisition resource, which we can use when we build
We
squads
stand
and
ready.
equipment.
Onward to glory!
Yes, most beneficent
in other words,
one.
capping the points is good.
Build routine 721
Heresy grows
initiated.
from idleness. At your command. Faith is our shield.
Yes, Lord.
Now that the strategic
Lord,
point is
instructions.
ours, we must take steps to ensure that it stays
I
ours.
await your
Get the Servitor to
instructions.
build a listening post on the point to defend it.
Awaiting orders.
Oh, they're just Gretchens.
Praise the Excellent. The point is now protected from an orc retaliation. We should continue to build listening posts on all our captured points.
Build routine 721 initiated.
Direct us to the enemy.
It is time to hunt down the source of these orcs.
Maintain attack
They must have a
formation.
base somewhere within the walls of this Imperial facility. But where?
Yep.
On alert, brothers. The enemy must be nearby.
Direct us to the enemy.
What would you have me do?
We stand ready. We are the Emperor's chosen.
Yes, most beneficent one. Yes, Lord. I await your instructions. Build routine 721 initiated.
Fear denies
I
faith.
await your instructions. As you wish. Yes, Lord. I exist to serve.
What's your order?
Oh, right. Yeah, I am locked by my deck. A little bit.
Here to serve. Yes, most beneficent one. Build routine 721 initiated.
Heresy grows from idleness.
You keep one team at home
Cleanse, purge, kill.
in case something goes bad.
Beware the alien, the mutant,
The heretic.
faith and duty. Beware the alien, the mutant.
Under fire, we stand ready. Maintain attack formation.
The Emperor protects. My faith is my shield.
Yes, most beneficent one. Build routine 721 initiated.
The Emperor protects. My aim shall not falter.
Build routine 721 initiated.
The Emperor protects. My aim shall not falter. He who stands with me shall be my brother.
At your command. Awaiting orders.
Look! An orc camp. And look there! A break in the spaceport's defensive wall. They must have blasted their way in. We must destroy this orc camp and any others these foul creatures may have constructed.
He's talking about this concrete wall here.
What would you have? Agreed. Agreed. Walk softly and carry a big gun.
Walk softly and carry a big gun.
Yes, most beneficent one. Build routine 721 initiated.
Excellent. On alert, brothers. This orc camp has been destroyed.
Stay vigilant, brothers. Ever vigilant. Take and hold.
Today, the enemy shall know fear. I shall not fail. Those Imperial Guardsmen look like they could use some assistance. Come, brothers. Make haste. Our prayers have been answered. Here come the Space Marines!
Under fire.
Tartarus Defense Force.
He who stands with me shall be
The Emperor.
Yes, most beneficent one. As you wish. Build routine 721 initiated.
See, the Thunderhawk drops it like a whole freaking building. Now, only a couple Space Marines can fit inside that, but according to Space Marine lore, but as far as this game's concerned, this is your fortress. This is your town hall.
Yes, my lord.
The Emperor protects. Faith and duty.
What's your order? Orders received. Understood. Maintain attack. Under fire.
Beware the alien. The mutant.
Ever vigilant. Faith is our shield. Fear denies faith.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath, there can be no peace.
The environment's pretty cool.
Follow my lead. Follow my lead.
Maybe a little dated by people's standards, but
Yes, Lord. Build routine 721
While the enemies of the
initiated.
Emperor still draw breath, there can be no peace.
Heresy grows from idleness. Orders received, brother.
He who
Pain
stands with
deepens
me shall
devotion.
be my brother.
I volunteer.
For terror,
Under fire.
my aim shall not falter.
Direct us to the enemy. Orders received. We stand ready.
Walk softly. Carry a big gun. My aim shall not falter.
At your command. We are the Emperor's chosen.
What would you have me do?
Gabriel Angelos.
On alert, brothers. The enemy must be nearby.
At your command.
He who stands with me shall be my brother.
Regroup! Heresy
He who
grows.
stands with me shall be my
Stay
brother.
vigilant, brothers.
Walk softly.
What's your order?
Big gun. Praise the Emperor.
Faith is our shield. Weapons at ready. It is time.
On alert, brothers. The enemy must be nearby. I serve mankind.
Under fire. Faith is our shield. Weapons at ready. It is time. Yes, my lord. Awaiting orders. Orders received, brother.
On alert, brothers. The enemy must be nearby. For the honor of the chapter. Confirmed. For the Emperor.
We are the Emperor's chosen. Orders received. Ever vigilant.
The Emperor protects.
Faith is our shield. Charge. Orders received.
Beware, alien. My aim shall not falter.
Faith is our shield. Orders received.
Today the enemy shall know fear, while the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath, there will be no peace.
What's your order?
These are the Devastators. What you would call a heavy bolter.
Praise the Emperor.
Under fire. We are the Emperor's chosen. Orders received. Faith is our shield. Yes, my lord.
Praise the Emperor. What would you have me do? For terror,
Take and hope.
walk softly and carry a big gun. My faith is my shield. Walk softly and carry a big gun.
What's your order? Yes, my lord. We are the Emperor's chosen. Fear denies faith. We stand ready.
Beware the alien, the mutant, the heretic.
Yes, my lord. We stand ready. Fear under fire. Cleanse, purge, kill. Onward to glory. Orders received, brother.
On alert, brothers. The
What's your
enemy
order?
must be nearby.
At your command, maintain attack formation. Weapons at ready. It is time.
See this crane? How it looks similar
For
to
the
cranes in the
Emperor.
battle barge?
Onward to
The
glory.
Gothic.
Orders received.
Oh, we can't go
brother.
there.
Maintain attack
All right.
formation.
Yes, Lord? I shall obey. Build routine
Beware
71 initiated.
The heretic.
Yes, my lord.
Why won't you make rock launchers? Because I can't make a monastery. This is a stronghold. You can't upgrade your main.
Walk softly and carry a big gun.
Yep, doing the damage I can. Da Boy's Hut. That's the name of the Orc Discord.
Praise the Emperor.
Under fire!
Walk softly and carry a big gun. My aim shall not falter.
Oh wow, they really do have to go the long way.
My faith is my shield. My aim shall not falter.
We are the Emperor's chosen. Heresy grows from idleness.
What would you have me do?
Faith is our shield. Fear denies faith. Charge!
He who stands with me shall be my brother.
He
Agreed.
who stands with me shall be
Fear
my
denies
brother.
faith. Fear our wrath.
Praise the Emperor. My aim shall not falter. My
Eluded
aim shall
Lehman
not
Russ.
falter. My faith is my shield. My aim shall not falter. This day shall be a glorious one for the Imperium. We shall know no fear. For the glory of the Emperor. Walk softly. Carry a big gun. My aim shall not falter. My faith is my shield.
Yes, most beneficent one.
Faith is our shield.
Excellent. This orc camp has been destroyed.
Faith is our shield. Fear denies faith.
Form up, men! There's work
He
to
who
be done!
stands with me shall be my brother. I shall not fail. On alert, brothers. The enemy must be nearby. We are united in his service.
Direct us to the enemy. For the Emperor! Orders received.
Yes, Lord.
Weapons at ready. Awaiting orders. Time.
Praise the Emperor.
Heresy grows from idleness. We stand ready.
He who stands with me shall be my brother.
We stand ready.
My faith is my
We
shield.
stand ready.
Praise the Emperor.
Yes, my lord. Direct us to the enemy.
Yes, Lord. Build machine 721.
The Emperor protects. This day shall be a glorious one for the Imperium. This day shall be a glorious one for the Imperium.
We stand ready. Yes, my lord. We are the Emperor's chosen.
Walk softly and carry a big gun. Today the enemy shall know fear.
Under fire.
My faith is my shield. For the Emperor. Today the enemy shall know fear. While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath, there can be no peace.
Yes, most beneficent one. Build routine 721 initiated.
My faith is my shield.
Listening post. Instead of listening post. The little Gretchen hat.
Walk softly
And carry a big gun.
Stay vigilant, brothers.
That's gonna be the one of the ongoing memes.
Onward to glory!
He has voice lines, and
Understood.
he needs more of them. That's just the fact.
Orders received. Under fire!
You know, some DPS go up once they finish.
My faith is my shield. My aim shall not falter. My aim shall not falter.
At your command.
The Emperor protects. My faith is my shield. While the enemies of the Emperor still draw their peace.
Orders received, brother.
My faith is my shield.
Under fire!
My faith is my shield. My faith is my shield.
Charge!
What would you have me do?
Awaiting orders.
On alert, brothers. The enemy must be nearby.
Charge!
The Emperor protects. On alert, brothers. The enemy must be nearby. Beware the alien. My aim shall not falter.
On your order. Direct us to the enemy. We stand ready. At your command.
Today the enemy shall know fear. Today the enemy shall know fear.
Yes, my lord.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath, there will be
At your command. Orders received. Maintain attack formation.
praise the Emperor.
Heresy grows behind us.
Beware the alien.
Fear denies failure.
We have one more push to make into the centers of the city, I think.
Walk softly. Carry a big gun.
Is there an objective that Gabriel Angelos must live? Ah, I failed. I failed to save him.
Today the enemy shall know fear. Taking command. My faith is my shield.
Excellent.
We shall know
This
no
orc
fear.
camp has been destroyed. There, that's the last
I
of them.
serve
Well
mankind.
done, Blood Ravens. Victory is ours.
I'm honored to be in the presence of a librarian. I wish to know how my men can better serve you. We shall wait for the captain to finish his prayers. I saw you stand against the orcs. You are a brave man, Colonel. I wish I could say the same of your men. I shall strengthen their resolve, my lord. See that you do, or we shall do it for you. You have something you wish to say. Say it, Colonel. How did you know? Even without my psychic gifts, it is obvious. Speak. Is it true your company eradicated a heresy on the planet of Cyrene recently? An exterminatus, down to the planet's last man, woman, and child? Colonel, your company is welcome, but such questions are not. Do not ask the captain about Cyrene if you intend to remain in his good graces. Brother Captain, the Colonel wishes an audience with you.
Thank you, Isidore.
My lord, my Tartarus 37th Imperial Guard Regiment stand ready to serve you in protecting the city. They wish to make amends for...
They will have many opportunities to prove themselves warriors worthy of the Emperor. The Blood Ravens are leaving the city. Its protection is in your hands.
I will ready my men. May I ask what your next course of action is?
Orcs only respect strength. I intend to show them that we have it in ample supply.
Goddamn, brothers. We made it.
War Journal of Captain Gabriel Angelos. The situation on the planet Tartarus is grim. While the Blood Ravens crushed the main Orc offensive at the spaceport, the bulk of their force is not engaged. They gather in the wilderness, awaiting a critical mass of bodies that will overwhelm the Imperial forces in a green wave of death and destruction. The Blood Ravens will not allow this to occur. Orbital monitoring has detected an area in the southern forests where the Orcs appear to be massing. Orcs only respect strength, so they will look to the largest of their groups to lead them. We will insert a small, covert strike force to eliminate these Orc leaders and destroy any encampments where the Orcs might mass. This should cut to the heart of the Orcs' fighting spirit and delay their inevitable counterattack. We must tread lightly, lest we disturb this slumbering beast.
Goddamn, brothers. I forgot about all that. The narrating. See, this is a pretty simple map. You can see up here that this is the layout that they're giving us of the map. But that whole description there that they just read out loud, that shit's cool, man. You can even replay it. You can even replay this in case you missed anything, or in case you want to hear that sweet, sweet Gabriel Angelos voice. You can even start the next mission, or press go back, as in go back to the main menu. I think this is about as far as I got about 2 years ago, when I did try to re-immerse myself, and I'm not sure what happened. I just kind of lost interest. I guess there was a few friends of mine that were playing mostly Ultimate Apocalypse, and I guess since I had installed the Ultimate Apocalypse mod, I couldn't play the campaign. I wanted to be able to play the campaign with the Ultimate Apocalypse mod units, but you can't. It doesn't work. It doesn't fire up, so that's a shame. It might work with the Soulstorm campaign. If it does, then that would be pretty sick. So I'll give that a try for sure. But I don't think it will work for this campaign. The Ultimate Apocalypse mod just simply doesn't do anything to this particular version of the game. But this is a good place to end this one. A fancy episode 1. I'm very happy with how that turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this series. I do work hard on these ones when I try to be serious about them. And I will see you all in the next video, my friends, which will be being made right now. And you have yourselves a good night.